are now listening to the War Report Podcast Network.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the College Loop Podcast, episode 145 of the College Loop Podcast. I'm Dylan Larck at @Tank on /X. I also want to wish everybody a Merry Christmas, a belated Merry Christmas, because we skipped on the live stream on Christmas Eve so everyone can enjoy time with their family. But I hope everyone enjoyed their Christmas yesterday. If you can't tell, I got some new stuff for Christmas. My beautiful girlfriend gave me that awesome Lego College Loop logo that will be in the background for videos, all the videos to come in the future. And that's really cool. I love looking at it. I had to start this off by just shouting that out because that is just really, really cool. But just get right into the news. Auburn started off with signing day last week. There we go. We missed out on a few guys who were able to sign after the last episode came out. Starting off with Keaton McNutt, the number 4 long snapper in the country, has officially signed his NLI with the Auburn Tigers. Again, a very, very highly rated long snapper in the country. Number 4, like I said, joins number 25 ranked long snapper J.R. Buckner as the 2 long snappers that joined this 2024 class. Also to sign Towns Magoo, kicker out of Auburn High School, signed with the Auburn Tigers as well. He's widely regarded as one of the top kickers in the country. It kind of just depends on where you look and who's ranking him. I currently see him as the number 1 kicker in the country. That's not just because he's coming to Auburn. But yeah, a guy who has hit multiple 50-yarders during his time at Auburn High School. A guy who plays both kicker and punter. So if McPherson doesn't go pro after this year, could kind of see him moving to that punter role and kind of play what Daniel Carlson kind of played for a little bit. Carlson, a guy who, one of the best kickers, probably the best kicker to ever come through Auburn, one of the best kickers to ever come through college football. A guy who played both punter and kicker during a little short stint here at Auburn. And another guy who did sign with the Tigers is, I'm going to butcher this name, Favor Edwin. Also signed offensive tackle, 3-star offensive tackle. Who is, if you're unaware of who Favor Edwin is, he was a guy who was kind of leaning towards LSU for a little bit. That's all we kind of heard leading up to his signing, and then he kind of just surprised us, signed with Auburn. He's coming out of Eagles Landing Christian Academy. He is 6'7", 300 pounds. Going to play on the outside. It's a big, strong tackle that you really want to build up. I mean, he is just a massive human being who is going to do wonders whenever he gets on the field. I don't know if he gets started year 1. It'd be kind of hard for him to get there right now, but he's going to be really good whenever Jake Thornton gets a hold of him. Not Jake Thornton. I am blanking. It's Jake Thornton. Yeah, I'm stupid. Yeah, Jake Thornton, who's offensive line coach, is going to have a field day with a 6'7", 300-pound offensive tackle to throw on that line next year. And another guy who's just another recruiting news, Antonio Coleman, the 4-star defensive lineman, number 1 defensive lineman in the class of 2025, has flipped his commitment from Alabama to the Auburn Tigers. 4-star D lineman out of Maryland. If that name sounds familiar, that is where 5-star wide receiver, formerly of the 2025 class, but now reclassified to 2024, Ryan Williams is from as well. Auburn currently has the number 3 class in the 2025 cycle, second in the SEC. But with that being a year away, we're going to get right into the recruiting world for this recruiting cycle, where Auburn currently stands as the number 7 class in the country, 4th in the SEC, behind, of course, Alabama, Georgia, and Texas, who are now counted towards the SEC. But a huge surprise that this class has shot up so high, since we were kind of expecting to kind of be in the top 12 range. We thought that's kind of where we wanted it to. That was like this. We want it here. This is where we want to be, top 12, and then 2025 turn it around and start getting these top 5 classes. But just a huge surprise. Flipped a lot of guys. Got a lot of guys you weren't expecting. Of course, you got Cam Coleman and Perry Thompson coming through, which really helped when you have 2 5-stars coming in. Highest ranked wide receiver class in Auburn football history. Just bringing those 2, and of course Bryce Kane, Malcolm Simmons, and Dylan Gentry, just an all-around wide receiver class. It's going to be great. It just speaks wonders to Hugh Freeze. And speaking of Perry Thompson, if you have not already, go check out his documentary that he posted a couple of days ago. It's really good. He kind of goes through his story and kind of goes through the recruiting process. Hugh Freeze makes a cameo in a minivan. It's a lot of fun. It was really good, and it was really well made for what I assumed was for high school, but very, very good quality. But looking at the 2024 class, I just want to kind of went through and picked 5 guys who I thought have the highest chance to potentially make it into the starting rotation for the Auburn Tigers in 2024. Of course, looking at positions of need, definitely went into play here. Auburn hit on a lot of those in this class, and Hugh Freeze made sure to get a lot of these words are hard. A lot of guys who are going to build up and get better throughout their tenure here at Auburn. But there are 5 guys who I think out of this class could probably see the field right away, if not a couple of games in. Starting at number 5, I went with DeAndre Carter, the 4-star offensive lineman out of Mater Dei. Dude is a massive, massive human being. He is 6'4", 340 pounds, and he is just way faster than you would think he'd be. Of course, number 3 interior offensive lineman in the country, number 12 in the state of number 12 player in the state of California, top 100 or top 200 player per 24/7. Dude is just fast. He has got quick feet. He's strong. He's powerful. He is a prototypical offensive lineman that is going to make it to the league, and that's because that's how good he is. I kind of would like it if he lost a little bit of that weight and kind of try to move him to the outside, because I think he also plays a little bit of tackle. But he was very good at both positions at Mater Dei, and Mater Dei, of course, is like the gold standard of high school football, of the high school football ranks. DeAndre Carter, a guy who I think can start right away. I do know the guard position is a little bit low. That's why I think he could probably move out the tackle and be fine. That's because that's just how good of a player he is. And, of course, Jake Thornton absolutely got a gem with DeAndre Carter. Coming at number 4, I have one of the 5-stars. I have Perry Thompson coming in at number 4. Of course, 6'3", 202-pound wide receiver out of Foley, Alabama. Number 7 wide receiver in the country. It's not that I don't think he'll start to get playing time. I definitely think he's going to get playing time. I don't think he's going to get as much playing time as another wide receiver I'm going to name in a little bit. But Perry's going to be at a little bit of a disadvantage coming in. He's going to have only the summer and fall practices to kind of get in with the team and get in with the playbook. He's not going to be here during the spring like another guy we're going to mention in a little bit. Perry, I definitely think is going to get into the rotation soon. I just don't know if it's going to be as soon as the other guy I'll be mentioning in a little bit. That's not to spoil anything. Coming in at number 3, I have linebacker DeMarcus Riddick out of Chilton County, the number 5 linebacker in the class of 2024. 6'2", 212. He's an athlete as in every sense of the word. He can cover sideline to sideline. He can make tackles. He can hurt you. He can get to you. He's going to play football. He's going to play very quickly for the Auburn Tigers. He's going to be in this rotation right away. It would be just a battle between if he gets in over Austin Keys. I definitely think he has the potential to do so. I know with Eugene Asante returning, it kind of makes it harder for him to get in right away. But I do think that him and Austin Keys could probably flip in and out because I think their skill set is very similar. Both of them kind of the prototypical like coverage linebackers that you want to see, and that's what you get with the speed and the potential that you're going to have with DeMarcus Riddick. So I'm going to have him as a potential early playing time, or potentially not. I wouldn't say a starter right away, but definitely getting into this rotation very, very quickly. At number 2 is a guy that I do think is going to start right away as soon as he gets onto the field or in Auburn, Alabama, is Laquan Robinson, the safety out of Holmes Community College of the JUCO ranks, number 2 safety out of JUCO, 6'2", 195. He is everything you want out of a strong safety. He is going to hit you in the mouth, and he is going to make you regret throwing it his way. If you watch the film from him, that's exactly what he does. He's a ball-hawking, hard-hitting safety. He is a guy that Auburn, looking at the last 2 strong safeties that come to my mind with, of course, Smoke Monday and Zion Puckett, he's better than both in the sense of coverage. Because, I mean, Smoke Monday could hit you, and he's going to get ejected from the game, and Zion Puckett was very good at making hits. But coverage-wise, were those 2 always straight from the path. Laquan Robinson, you get that extra step in development. You get the coverage attribute. You get the guy who can stay with his man. You get the guy who's not going to be a liability in coverage when the ball gets thrown his way. So watching Laquan Robinson, if he gets acquitted with the division, I don't want to say Division 1, but if he gets with the FBS and the SEC, he's going to be a I don't want to say all-time safety, but he's definitely going to be up there in terms of how good he can be and how good he will be for the Tigers, and especially with one of the best DB coach duos in the country, and Zach Etheridge and Weston McGriff. Definitely Laquan Robinson is going to be a guy you're going to be hearing from very, very soon in 2024. And my number one guy for who I think could probably see playing time right away is, of course, 5-star wide receiver Cam Coleman out of Central Phoenix City, the number 2 wide receiver in the class, 6'3", 180 pounds. He is the most talented wide receiver in this class. Him and Perry Thompson both are going to have a dynamic duo in the future. But Cam Coleman, he's going to get here this spring. That kind of gives him the edge for me. He's going to have that extra time with the team, with Holden Gardner, with Peyton Thorne, and with Walker White. Just all those guys are going to be practicing right away during the spring, and you're not really going to have a set number 1 guy yet. So you're going to have time to get heads turned your way, to have guys thinking, oh, well, maybe we should start the freshman right away. That's what you get with Cam Coleman. And said that I'm not one who's always going to be on the path of, we should start a guy right away out of recruiting, out of high school, start him right away. Because I do think there's that extra level of where you want to get acquitted more to the level of play you're going to have to reach, and to where you have to be, and the hits. Taking a hit in college is going to hurt a lot more than high school. But Cam Coleman has the ability to be an all-time wide receiver for the Tigers. Him and Perry Thompson both. I have to talk to them as a duo just because of how good they are. And I can't even say that I mentioned the fact that Auburn has a chance to go 4 wide in a couple of years with Cam Coleman, Perry Thompson, Malcolm Simmons, Bryce Kane. All those guys just mesh so well together. They're going to be so fun to watch in a few years. And believe me, if I could go 10 deep in this list, Bryce Kane and Malcolm Simmons would be in this list. But Cam Coleman right away, I think with the spring and him being as high level of player as he is, I do think that he is the most capable of starting right away for the Tigers in 2024. But with that, I want your opinions. Who do you think is going to be the most likely freshman to start out of this class? If you think it's going to be Walker White starting right away over Peyton Thorne and Holden Gardner, why do you think that way? And a few other, of course, that list goes on and on and on. If you think Dylan Gentry is going to get in, absolutely show out, be the next Will Hastings, go for it. It'd be hilarious, and I love reading those comments like that. Then in other transfer portal news, just to move on from that, Robbie Ashford, as you know, as the president of the Robbie Ashford fan club, as I stay now, even if he is no longer with the Tigers. He has announced that he is going on he has scheduled 3 recruiting visits with 3 other teams, being South Carolina, Tulane, and Utah. Out of those 3, if I had to rank them in terms of where they are as a program wise, where I would like to see Robbie Ashford go in and potentially to get the job, I'm looking at Utah and Tulane, 2 teams that are kind of Tulane's on the up and up, as they have been for a hot minute, because they're one of the best G5 teams in the country. And having a quarterback like Robbie Ashford can boost that. They could be a team with the 12-team playoff coming up. They could be the highest ranked G5 team, and it'd be very easy for them to do so, especially with the American not being as good as it was a couple years back. But Tulane remains as one of the best teams in the country in terms of the G5 ranks. And I mean, they're better than some of the mid-level P5 teams that you see, if the P5 even exists after this year. Utah, another team that I think would be very good. A team that loves to run the ball and kind of meshes well with Robbie Ashford's scheme. Utah, not really known for their quarterback play since Alex Smith, really. But Cam Rising's gone. Bryson Barnes, I believe, is gone. And Nate Johnson's gone. They had to have a mass exodus of quarterbacks, and Robbie Ashford could really add to that offense. This is a team that whenever they're at their best, whenever they can run the ball, and Robbie Ashford is at his best whenever he can run the ball. And it'd be really sick to get a Robbie Ashford Utah jersey. That would be very dope. But I will say, out of the 3, South Carolina is my least favorite for him to go to. A team that I don't think is on an upward path, unless it just was a very, very much a down year for South Carolina. You're losing Spencer Rattler. He had his ups and downs. The team really helped. Lost a lot of key players to the portal and Juice Wells, but I'm not on board with South Carolina right now, and I don't think it'd be the best landing spot for him. Of course, it's whoever makes the better offer, but I would really enjoy seeing Robbie Ashford play for either Utah or Tulane in 2024. And then last bit of transfer portal news, Malcolm Johnson Jr. has announced his transfer destination to the Bowling Green Falcons of the MAC ranks. Amari Kelly has decided to go play under former Auburn defensive coordinator Derek Mason at Middle Tennessee State University. And lastly, Jair Shorter, who ends his Auburn career averaging 10 yards per catch off of minimum of one catch, is transferring to the Memphis Tigers in the American Conference. So good luck to them and all of their future endeavors wherever it may take them. Hopefully they all ball out outside of Auburn. And I mean, we don't got to play those teams anyway, so it's okay. So yeah, best of luck to everybody transferring out from Auburn. And to wrap up the football segment, Auburn is going into the Music City Bowl in just a few days. The 30th, so 4 days as this comes out, Auburn will take on the Maryland Terrapins in the Music City Bowl. As it stands right now, Auburn is, I believe, favored to win. I think it really helps with the fact that Talia Tagovailoa will not be playing in this game. He has decided to opt out of it to prepare for the NFL draft, which I honestly still think is a little crazy for him to do so, because I don't think that he is going to get drafted anytime in the first couple of, I would say first 5 rounds. I don't think. But as it stands, Auburn currently is a 7-point favorite on a game that's going to happen on Saturday, December 30th at 1:00 p.m. Central Standard Time. If you're going to this game, let us know. I sadly would not be able to attend. I had a whole plan to do so, but ticket prices went skyrocketed up, and now it's too late to do any of that. So if you're going to the game, have fun. I wish I could be there, kind of see all y'all's faces and hang out in Nashville, because I have still yet to have gone. As it stands, Auburn is again favored, and FPI also in their favor as well. Auburn coming into this game on a 2-game losing streak, losing to New Mexico State and Alabama. Speaking of New Mexico State, if you're not aware, their coach has stepped down as the Aggies coach, and Diego Pavia has entered the portal, former quarterback who demolished our defense a couple weeks back. So yeah, keep on a lookout for that, because hopefully he stays off of Auburn's schedule in 2024. Maryland, of course, coming off of a huge win over the Rutgers Scarlet Knights, a 42-24 victory. Also, Auburn, we're going to have a full breakdown of this game on the Thursday show, talking about what we're going to see from Maryland and what we're going to see from Auburn, and of course our predictions as well. Maryland not really coming in here with a quarterback who has played a lot or has done a lot this year. I believe it's Cameron Edge, who has 18 yards on the year, but don't quote me on that. But I made a little wish list of what I want to see from the Auburn Tigers in the Music City Bowl. I got 3 things that I need to see from this team. So starting off, I want to see Jarquez Hunter get that 1,000 yards. Currently, he is at 100. He's at 865 yards, and he only needs 135, which I think is very feasible for him to do against against Maryland. Just kind of feed the man, let him get 1,000 yards. It's kind of not really something statistically or not analytically that I want. It's kind of something I just need to see. Auburn has not had a 1,000-yard rusher in a hot minute. It's been, I can't remember when the last time it was. I guess it probably was recently. But I need Auburn to get back into the way of getting those 1,000-yard rushers continuously. Auburn's at their best whenever they can run the ball, and they have that workhorse back who gets them those yards. And it's just been a hot minute since Auburn's where they had one. They can consistently get there, or just a coaching staff who can consistently let the running backs get there. So I would love to see Jarquez Hunter hit 1,000 yards. He's been one of our best players ever since he finally got his groove back, and he definitely could have got 1,000 yards if, of course, he had played a little bit earlier in the season, but it's neither here nor there. But I just love to see him hit that. Still got 7 touchdowns on the year. He's had a pretty solid, quiet year. I just kind of want to see him get that extra milestone on his resume. And I think it's still up in the air whether or not Jarquez is going to be returning in 2024. I think with Fat Burnett not really being anywhere near Auburn in terms of recruiting after he shut down or he decommitted from Auburn, I do think that kind of bolsters that Strickland Hunter will be returning in 2024. So I still like him to hit 1,000 yards in this game against Maryland Terrapins. My second thing on this list is how serviceable can this wide receiver room be? So Auburn is currently going to be without, of course, Jair Shorter, not really a big loss. Malcolm Johnson Jr., Amari Kelly, and Javarius Johnson as well. A couple of these guys who, Javarius Johnson, of course, was Auburn's leading wide receiver in terms of receiving yards. I kind of just want to see where's this wide receiver room. Shane Hook is out of eligibility after this. I would love to see Nick Martiner. I would love to see that just to see what exactly he can do, what he could have done if he had played at all throughout the season. So just looking at it like that, I just need to see some more from this wide. How deep is this wide receiver room really? Is there people that should have been playing all along that weren't playing? Just kind of want to see more of that because with this wide receiver room coming in, there's a good chance if this wide receiver room is bad, it could just be Jay Fair and the freshman all starting in 2024. So I just kind of want to see more high level or at least medium level wide receiver play from Auburn in this game. And with the wide receivers, you have to have a good quarterback. So I'm looking towards wanting to see a little bit of Holden Gardner. We're going into this year kind of established with the fact that it's going to be Peyton Thorne's team going into 2024 and giving them a whole offseason. And I'm not against that. I've kind of come around to kind of seeing the benefits of letting Peyton Thorne take the reins in 2024. But it wouldn't hurt to let Holden Gardner have a little bit of a shot. Every time he's gone in, it's been garbage time and a win or garbage time and a loss and never really got to see him throw the ball or, kind of be comfortable in the pocket. So in a game where, it's a bowl game. It matters to some extent and to other extents it doesn't. Let Holden Gardner get it. Let him kind of show off what he can do, kind of give him a chance to show that, hey, maybe this isn't Peyton Thorne's team right away. Maybe I can take this from him and kind of lead the charge the next couple of years before Walker White gets in. So I would love to see Holden Gardner get in, show off what he can do because we've been hearing nonstop about how good of an arm he is and how good of a quarterback he is and how he's been one of the best quarterbacks in practices. So I kind of want to see that put into real life, if he's actually under duress in the pocket. Can he get the ball out? Can he get the ball to his receivers? Can he not make mistakes? Can he get out of the pocket? Can he run the ball? Of course, in our RPO system, you kind of have to run the ball a little bit as a quarterback. So, yeah, those are my three things. Strickland Hunter getting 1,000 yards. Can this wide receiver room be serviceable with some of the starters being gone from the transfer portal? And, of course, I want to see a little bit of Holden Gardner in the game as well. And with that ends the football conversation. And before we move on to basketball, I just want to reach out and tell y'all that y'all should like, comment, subscribe. Go ahead and leave your predictions for the Music City Bowl. Do you think Auburn's going to win? Do you think Maryland's going to win? Put your score predictions. Remember, if you get the correct score, you get the closest score, you get a nice little shout out on the next show following the game. And of course, you could be the guy, you could be the person who, carries that crown going into the next football season. Hey, I was the last person to get the correct football score right for 2024. And of course, we'll be doing this for basketball as well going into the season of SEC play. But yeah, with that, don't forget, there's also other ways you can support the show as well. You can go to www.thewarreport.com, go to the shop, and pick up your very own Feeling Loopy t-shirt today. As Colin says, it's the War Damn shirt. Oops, sorry. Yeah, skipped out on that. Only $25 on the War Report shop. It's the first thing on the first, it's not the first, it's on the first page as you click it. Only $25. It's beautiful. It comes in 5 colorways. Comes in navy, midnight navy, heather black, and of course, midnight gray as well. So go get your own Feeling Loopy shirt today. Get one for your family. It's a little bit of a late Christmas gift. Why not? Just show off. Show some love to us, to your family, by getting them the most comfortable shirt they are ever going to wear. The, of course, Feeling Loopy t-shirt. So grab yours today. Now, to round out the show, talk about some men's basketball. They are coming off of a 20-point win over the Alabama State Hornets, where Jalen Williams and Katie Johnson both hit 1,000 career points. Jay Will, of course, got 20 points on the day. Katie Johnson got 13 points. And just to look through it, it was just an all-around. It was a good performance from a lot of these guys. Janai Broom had a double-double with 16 points, 13 rebounds, had 3 steals, 3 blocks, and, of course, had an assist as well. Fouls were kept to a little bit of a minimum. I didn't really see a lot of those. You saw a good chunk of those on the Alabama State side. that 3-point shooting in this game was horrific. 25% from the 3-point line for the Auburn Tigers, 6 of 24, and you got half of those from one KD Johnson. So lots of stuff to look into before you get, of course, get Chattanooga on Saturday. We'll have a full breakdown of that game on the Thursday show. But overall, this game, you saw some points scored from a lot of players you don't really see them from. Of course, you had Simo getting some points. Had 6 points for Simo, and those were the only points on his box score. Free throw shooting was very good, 81% from the free throw line, and you kind of only missed those 3 from Janai Broom, who missed 3 of them. And of course, the couple more kind of split up around a couple other guys, but Janai Broom, of course, only missed 3. Aiden Holloway shot the ball pretty well, 2 for 6 from the 3-point line, only had 6 points. Distributed the ball very well, 4 assists for him as well. Kind of a quiet night from Denver Jones. Didn't really see a lot of points scored from him. He only had 3 points. Didn't really do much outside of that. He played 23 minutes, so not. And this is Alabama State, so I'm not going to gripe on it too much. I just want to see a little bit better play whenever it comes to teams like this. I know you beat them by 20. Auburn had every opportunity to hit 100. As the game kind of went on, they kind of slowed it down, kind of let the game kind of roll out, which I completely understand. Don't want to get anybody hurt. Auburn's got 2 more games left before SEC play, where they travel to Arkansas on, I believe, January 6th. And as I'm going to click and look at that, yes, January 6th. They have Chattanooga and Penn coming up before SEC play starts and the season gets off and rolling in SEC conference play. But, of course, I just need to see a more well-rounded performance from the bench as well. I mean, the highest scorer off the bench was, of course, Trey Donaldson with 5 points. Or KD Johnson with 13 points, followed by Trey Donaldson with 5 points, and kind of split it around to 4s and 3s and 2s, and, of course, the 0s from the walk-ons that got to come in at the last couple minutes of the game. I just need to see more consistent play from a lot of these guys. Of course, Chattanooga, not really a powerhouse. Penn is, I think, a pretty decent mid-major. I just need to get better. And that's going to be the theme of every game to come, and try to get better from every game. But I will say Auburn has been playing at a high level. I think they're very highly ranked in the KenPom. The AP Bowl is still just being an absolute piece of crap when it comes to ranking Auburn. They are currently ranked at 26. They're 2 to 6 points behind St. Bonaventure. Not St. Bonaventure, Providence, if they're behind. Come on. Just rank Auburn. Come on, you can do it. Y'all can do it. But yeah, full breakdown of the Auburn-Chattanooga game on the Thursday show, and of course, as well, the Auburn-Maryland preview as well coming up on the Thursday show. But yeah, all that being, let me do the outro right. It's absolutely botched that. Of course, I'm Dylan Larck, able to take on Twitter/X. You can catch me there tweeting about stuff all the time. Of course, you also have me on Instagram as well at Dylan Larck, at DYLENLARCK. You also have me right here in the College Loop, which like, comment, and subscribe. Of course, leave your predictions for the Music City Bowl. Leave your thoughts on who you think is going to be the premier starter out of the 2024 class. Who you think is going to start out of the 2025 class? Why not? And of course, you could follow us everywhere else. You have us on Twitter, TikTok, Facebook, Instagram, the works, all at the College Loop. And, of course, you have us on the audio versions as well. So if you're tired of seeing our faces, go check us out on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, and, of course, Amazon Music. And a little bit of a shorter show today, but I think it was pretty good. So with all that being said, this has been the College Loop Podcast.